They had a great day yesterday and delivered one of our only double clears. They sit on 29.9. Can they add themselves to the very, very small list, one person ever to do it and finish on their dressage score? Them to really come together in this big moment as they make their way down center line now. And that can be hard as a rider, actually. You know, you would think that a very talented rider and a very talented horse coming together would be a really easy transition. But when someone else has produced a horse and then you've started to take over the ride, it can kind of take a little while. And I think one of the things Will is such an amazing, amazing talent at is what a horseman he is. And he really did allow this horse some time when it came over so that they could really develop their partnership together and get to know each other before they took on big competitions together. And I think, look at this picture, wow.
Well, he just came down center line and just stood there and halted, and it was just beautiful and filled with confidence, and this is lovely.
It's a great feeling as well to be able to go into this ring, and you know, Will won't be thinking about it maybe as much as some of the others would, but he's in the lead right now with his other horse Off the Record, and we did anticipate that he would come into this 4-star Cosequin division and really make a splash and potentially be able to, you know, take all three of them into the top group here in the final days of competition, because again, the selectors will be looking on for the United States and they will really be focused on this ride here, as will his team.
And beautiful angle there. This shot shows, you know, some of the difference before. We see a lot of neck bend in some of the horses, but this horse had a beautiful flexion through his whole body that really showed his athleticism and his flexibility. Same thing coming through, holding that angle through the half pass, and then this switch to the new bend as he comes around and prepares for a smooth transition to walk.
Yeah, and if you were wondering what the heck we were talking about earlier in some of those moments of, you know, really the cadence, the flow, the overall picture that's presented here, I really find myself as a viewer looking at the horse, and that means that Will, as a rider, he's doing a million things up there that you're not seeing, but that means he's doing a remarkable job at doing it. And you really get to focus on this as this horse kind of creeps in a little bit of tension, and he walks that fine, delicate line of saying, okay, a big enough walk to get us a score, but not too much, boy. And then we'll see if he can hold that together a bit here as he'll come around to canter.
So this horse can have a little leap-see in the flying changes. So I'm sure Coach Ian Woodhead and Will have been working on that quite a bit. So in about 7 strides, we'll know.
Yeah, and you see that 6 for the extended walk. That was because, yeah, just a little moment, but pretty good there.
Yeah.
That was really because that tension kind of was able to be seen just a little bit. It's easier to hide in some of those other gates. And so you see, you know, he gets hammered just a bit for that flying change, 4.8. So he'll want to really get everything he can out of this extended, everything he can, show those clear transitions, get all the points you can where you can get them.
And again, thinking about the string of horses that Will has between Off the Record, Diabolo, Chin Tonic, you know, this horse might be a little bit like Philip, a little bit new to the string to be headed to Paris, to be higher on the list headed to Paris, but this is a horse definitely getting ready for contention for the World Championships. So honestly, these changes are trending in the right direction from the competitions I've seen before. He's keeping his cool, a little bit of tension around them, but if he keeps on this training track, they'll continue to improve and continue to get better. He's not surviving in them, he's not thriving in them yet, but they're going the right direction. So I think, again, that's what we talked about. That canter trot transition can be so difficult for some reason for these real experienced horses. Beautiful step there. Lovely in the connection. Just a pleasure to watch. This horse was produced, like you said, it was produced by a young rider, a very good young rider. But when a horse is produced its whole career by someone else, it takes a little bit of time. But Will and team should be really, really happy with that. There's so much brilliance there, and so much, you know, you're almost trying to taper the brilliance so that you can build on that later. Right now it's consistency, smoothness in the connection. Will's so pleased. I think we'll just have to see if he's best himself or not.
Real close here, Sinead. That is going to be about as close as you can get to getting the same score on both horses.
As he's known in the barn, no stranger to this level of competition, produced overseas by a young rider taken on last year by Will Coleman, sets out on fire.
Yeah, he comes out of the box hot there. Diabolo and Will Coleman, one of the fastest riders in the United States of America, and he comes forward on the score of 29.9. So we'll be glued to this round, because if he were to deliver, he could go ahead of himself. He's currently the clubhouse leader with Off the Record. This one of his newest mounts in his stable, and what can they do today? They were very impressive on the flat. Seems like their partnership's really coming together, and he will be laser focused to get it right on this track.
As we see what he does, he's flying. Again, this is where we can really tell what's going to happen the rest of the course. He drops into that first water, sweeps around a little bit neat and tidy into this corner. Ooh, little hesitant off the ground, as we see. Actually, I'm going to watch Coleman come down to the coffin right now before I head down to watch my husband tackle this track.
It's just too exciting to leave.
Super shot in. Stays left. Oh, textbook.
And you saw Will's body, though. You saw how over the second portion of that complex, he really stayed right in the middle over that big ditch so that he's able to navigate it successfully on the way out. Sinead, good luck to you. Go get on your other hat.
All right.
And tell Tick to get it done.
My better looking counterpart here, John Hollings, coming in to take over, and I'll see you guys after a bit.
John, welcome in. It has been a very exciting morning, and we are well underway here in the Cosequin 4-star division, where things have really been tricky on this track, as we predicted. Will Coleman, this man, our clubhouse leader on 30.9 with Off the Record, and it was young gun Olivia Dutton who had a magical round with Sea of Clouds. She sits second on 40.3 in the clubhouse, and this is a very exciting horse.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here, and honestly, super excited that Sinead let me get in here while Will's still out on the course. This looks like he's having a great round. Obviously, he had to work pretty hard through that first water, but he looks right on track now. And a great ride there through that back water jumper, but had a great ride through.
Well, you can see why the two gentlemen on this track currently have represented the United States of America at the Olympic Games before. They'll be looking to see if they can put forward performances that make it so the selectors have to look at maybe having that happen again here, as Will comes to this Cosequin Cove, so iconic on this track. Nicely done through there.
Yeah, and that's been riding pretty well all day today. You can see Will really having to work and get this horse home. Yeah,
he's
so
going to be going for it.
Got about, what, 13, 12 seconds now to get home. He's going to be close.
Yeah, I think he might be one of the closest we've seen. Here he is, and he's just over.
He's got it. He knows he's got to look at the smile on his face.
This is Diabolo, another man who the pressure sits on firmly. Will Coleman in the saddle with one of his newer mounts in his string. They had a great day yesterday and delivered one of our only double clears. They sit on 29.9. Can they add themselves to the very, very small list, one person ever to do it and finish on their dressage score?
And this horse is just so stunning. And I think there's a lot, even it's probably already one of the best horses in the world, and I think they're still so new in their partnership. You know, we saw that yesterday. It was pretty amazing, and Will said he probably did 2 less strides out of the start box for the first jump than anybody else, and that was how he made the time. It's just such an attractive pair. We already saw Will in on Timmy jump a precarious clear round. Super shot there. And he's feeling the time allowed as he moves up around the turn, but you see he does it early so he can be straight and organized here. It's not that we're coming frantic into the fences, it's that he's moving up so we can be patient. You could hear a pin drop.
I know. I can feel it. You can hear an airplane overhead, actually.
The horse plenty of room there.
Okay, 1 to go for Coleman.
We're still good on the time.
Just the Cosequin Oxer left.
No,
yes, he does. So that will be quite a good day at the office for Will Coleman and his squad.
You know, it's so interesting. This is such a new horse. I'm sure in the back of their heads they were thinking about this horse for Paris, but I think this horse was more of a thought for the World Championships. But I think this horse has really fast-tracked his way onto the top of the selectors list, and it'll be interesting to see what his plan is for this horse for the rest of the year, because I think this one might have just got himself right up there.
I think so too, and with the late scratch of Will's top horse, Chintonic, who was our favorite ahead of Mixmaster C actually coming into this, I think he will be more thrilled than ever to have one more name in that hat and to put himself in the mix with yet another horse.
Will, congratulations. This is meaningful in any year, but particularly this one, I think.
Well, I think anytime you come to Kentucky and you jump a clean round on Sunday when you're sort of in that final few horses, it's a big deal. And, you know, we actually haven't had that many great Sundays here. We've had kind of unfortunate 4 faults or a couple time faults that have cost us in years past. So to come in and deliver 2 clears with these horses, I was really pleased and just so proud of both my boys. They were awesome.
What does this mean now? Because we're saying this is your under-the-radar horse. We were looking at the other ones, and this guy's just come out of nowhere. Second ever horse to finish on his dressage in this division.
Well, you know, I have a lot of belief in the horse. Certainly, we started our week on a bit of a downer when we had to withdraw Chintonic, who probably would have been, you know, my favorite of my 3 horses that I brought here. But at the same time, I really think the world of all 3 of these guys. Off the record is a proven champion and been one of the greatest horses I've ever ridden in my career. And I think Diabolo is, you know, a little bit behind those 2, but he's catching up. And we bought the horse last year, and I can't thank the people who came together to acquire him for me, and I think we're only just getting started, and I really hope that we can just continue to bring him to his full potential.
And is this now the order that they finished for you in this competition that you'd like to put them forward to the selectors for Paris?
I wouldn't even try to answer that. That's a nice try there, John, nice try, but no, I don't have any opinion on that. I think highly of both horses, and as you know, it's still many months away, and there's a really competitive group of horses and riders here in America competing for just 3 spots. So I don't count myself in by any stretch of the imagination, and we're just going to keep trying to get a little better each day. And, you know, if we end up at that horse show in the end of July in France, that's one thing. We'll be very happy, and if we don't, there's other things we can go and do.